Good morning. Welcome back once again. If you have just logged on to DBS, thank you for making the right choice, and we're going to help you ensure that you're quite happy that you decided to be here with us today. Yesterday was observed as World Forestry Day or International Forestry Day, and we have Adams Tuse, a Chief Forestry Officer, enlightening us a little bit more, especially as the theme this year is forests and sustainable cities.
International Day of Forest is important because of the significant contribution forest makes to livelihoods, to life of people. In St. Lucia, we've recognized that a long time ago because our motto is that Lafoué, Hectare, c'est la vie. Even Wasco has Glow, c'est la vie. And most of our water, forests was set aside. Our first forest reserve was set aside in 1906, so many years ago, in order to protect the area so that to protect the supply of water for the Castries, the city of Castries. So that was, imagine so many years ago, over 100 years ago, the need to protect forests was observed. More than that, today's theme, or this year's theme for World International Forest Day is forests and sustainable cities. So we understand the link with forests and how it helps in terms of sustainable livelihoods of people living in cities. Forests contribute a lot to cities in terms of the trees. So you can imagine a city without trees. It would be very much unbearable. The beautification in terms of aesthetics, forests add, or trees may add a lot to that as well. The water supply for St. Lucia, most of it comes from forests and supply the cities. So the contribution of forests to the cities, sustainable cities, is very much important and well recognized. But in commemoration of that day, we are looking at a particular tree species that is very common in St. Lucia, and that plays a very important role in terms of the life of people in St. Lucia, both from looking at a social point of view and the economic point of view. And from the point of view of the forestry department, we also need to look at the sustainable management of that particular species. I'm talking about Lassa, which most people know. Scientific name is Potium attenuatum. This species is endemic, which means that it's only found in the Eastern Caribbean. People use it for incense, frankincense. Most people associate frankincense with the gift that the wise men brought when they discovered the birth of Jesus Christ. So which means that the trade in frankincense was more important than the trade in gold or any other currency. So frankincense is really important to people. Now, the whole cultural value of frankincense is beyond the scope of me as a forest officer, but I know that people harvest it. 95% of the Catholic churches use it. The Rastafarians use it. And a number of people use it in the household for many domestic use in terms of ailment, in terms of chasing evil spirit. And we also know that in order to get it, they go to the forest and tap the trees. Now, it is not just everybody who taps it. There's specific people who are involved in that process, in the activity of tapping and supplying the people, rural and urban people. What we discover is that the method of harvesting was not sustainable. It compromised the health of the tree. So we collaborated with an international agency, NGO, Flora and Fauna International. We came together and developed a project to be able to find best practices and the best method for harvesting. So we had a number of experimental cuts to determine which cut that would be able to produce sufficient amount of the product, which is a Lassa product, and to be able to see which cut that will have less impact on the health of the tree. And I must report here today that we have discovered a method that would be able to produce a lot more Lassa than the traditional method. And also, it does not compromise the health of the tree. So which means that now we can say that the practice that we will be advising and selling to the harvesters will not compromise the health of the tree so that this sustainable harvesting can be done very well. So the future generation would not deprive of the opportunity to have at their disposal lassa that is produced from trees in St. Lucia.
Now, I find it just very fitting because everything is falling in line, and around the same time, we have Earth Hour coming up this Saturday, so don't forget that. Come support, be part of the Blackout Bonfire. And we also have the observance of International Forest Day. Everything just really highlighting and showing the focus that we need to ensure that we take care of our planet. We need to make sure we're connected to the environment. We have to do our best to conserve that. So that is your Thursday food for thought this morning. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. Hi everybody, good morning to you once again. Welcome back. This morning has returned, so we're going to keep things moving right along. The National School Science Competition has kicked off. That started from yesterday at the square, and of course there's so much to look forward to, but we got the chance to go down there and speak to some persons, and of course just have one of our young scientists further explain exactly what they're doing and why they love what they're doing. Let's check it out.
Over the next 3 days, we are going to be featuring 51 of our top projects from around the island. And these projects will be presented by students of all ages. We have the infants, the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary students. And our projects range in variety from experiments, which people normally associate with science, to studies, to innovation. So we actually have students who have created new products. Now this is a very exciting event. It's a big event. This National School Science and Technology Fair allows students to use their creativity, their analytical skills, in order for them to solve real-world problems. It gives them an opportunity to be immersed in science outside of the classroom. Because science, technology, engineering, and mathematics is important, but it shouldn't only be done in the classroom. We need to expand it. We need to see how STEM is applicable in real life, in industry, in the home, in everyday activities. So this fair is the combination of a number of activities we have had throughout the year. We had district quizzes, we had national quizzes, we had district fairs. Each of the 8 districts had their fair, and the top projects from each of these fairs are being featured over the next 3 days. Now the theme for this year is nurturing the seeds of innovation through science and technology, and these students are the seeds. And this platform provides the opportunity for the nurturing. So I encourage everybody, all members of the public, the parents, teachers, business places, everyone to come out to the Derrick Walker Square, come to support the students and show them that they too are interested in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
How many schools involved?
We have several schools. Oh, I can't even tell you the number, but we have 51 projects, and there are schools from all over the island.
My name is Bianca Anson. Our project is about food and nutrition, and it's basically about the diet. And we made a table by collecting the data. So what we realized that in carbohydrates the numbers stayed the same, and in junk it went from 23 to 9 students. So we realized it went down because we did the concept in class, and we also took it very seriously. And in the other categories, it went down, but some of them kind of came up, like proteins, because it went from 23 to 21, and it came back to 23. And fruits and vegetables, it went to 17, and it went down to 21, and then came down to 15. What we also realized is that in fruits and vegetables, the children ate more fruits and vegetables when they was at home instead of in school. We think that's it because at home their parents cook for them and they don't really have money to buy stuff, so the parents will cook the vegetables and stuff like that. But at school they have money and they buy all junks and stuff like that for them to eat. In dairy, it also went down, but it kind of came up again because it went from 18 to 22. So we realized, and our teacher talked to us, and she told us how dairy is not really good for the body, but we have to have at least 1 or 2 servings in our body. We also realized that some of us, we like to eat like soft drinks and stuff like that, but we decided we can cut it down for it because we already know that it has too much sugar and it's not really good for us.
Special good morning to Giannetti and her entire team because you guys are relentless. You'll keep pushing science, trying to make it very fun, creative, and innovative. And of course, there's still so much to look forward to St. Lucia. So make sure you guys, when you have the chance, you go out, you check them out. They're there until Friday. So go support the kids and what they're doing. And of course, let's just see all the hard work that they're putting in. And of course, making science so much fun. We'll be right back. Bonjour, Lucy. How are you today? I am here at the Alliance Française where it always has me on my toes trying to brush up on my French. And we are here with Sabrina. How are you today?
I'm very good, thank you.
Great. Well, I'm excited to be here because this week, March 20th, was observed as International Francophonie Day, I should say, and it's a very important day, especially for all French-speaking countries. But Sabrina is here. She's going to enlighten us. We have to wake up in the know. So, Sabrina, tell us a little bit more about International Francophonie Day.
Okay, so this day has been celebrated since 1988. It is every year the 20th of March. And it is a way to remind people that even if we are very different, we are united by the French language and by the values that we share in the Francophonie.
Great. So with the Francophonie, how many countries and which countries make up part of that?
Okay, so it is important to note that Francophonie has two meanings. The first one is all the people who speak French all over the world, and the second one corresponds to an international organization, the OEF, and there are 84 members, but in fact 56 member states and 20, well, the rest are observers. So there are countries like, of course, France, Ivory Coast, and even Saint Lucia. Saint Lucia is a member of the OEF.
Okay, very nice. So now, of course, you all are here doing so much for the French culture in Saint Lucia, which we do know it is part of our culture as well. So how important is it for us as St. Lucians to also really embrace and celebrate International Francophonie Day?
Okay. It is very important because, as you said, French is part of the St. Lucian culture. So there is the Creole, which is very related to French, of course. And there is also a lot of things like with the songs, the dance, also the cooking. Yes. So there is French everywhere, and it is very important for St. Lucia to understand that. And also, as St. Lucia is very close to Martinique and Guadeloupe, it is important to strengthen the ties between those islands, because people go back and forth to Martinique, but it's not only for shopping. They have to also discover the cultures there and so on. So at Alliance Française, we really try to make people discover the culture and the language, because the language is very important. It is now the 5th language in the world, and the 3rd for business and the 2nd for international organizations. And it is going to grow thanks to the African countries. And the number of people speaking French is going to go up in the future. So French is a word of opportunities for people here, and also especially with the studies, because it's much less expensive to go and study in Martinique and Guadeloupe than to go to the United States, for example.
Now, Sabrina has made some very, very important points, which just strengthens the fact that French is also part of our culture. And not to mention, there's so many opportunities available. And just like she said, there's so much to discover. And they have given the Groselet Primary School the opportunity to further discover that, because some of the students are here. They've just finished watching a movie. So we're going to hear from them. Hey St. Lucia, so still with observance and celebration of International Francophonie Day, the Alliance Française invited some students from the Groselet Primary School to come enjoy a French movie. So today I have Miss Lewis here with us. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm feeling very, very good. I should say très bien. Merci. I'm trying. St. Lucia knows I'm trying with French. And we have Juanita Nathaniel. She's just one of the students who are enjoying the movie as well. How are you today, love?
I'm good. You okay?
I'm doing very fine, thank you. You see, everybody's just so super polite, and I think next time round, this time next year, we'll be a little bit more fluent in French.
yes.
So I'll start off first of all with Juanita. How did you enjoy the movie today?
The movie was really nice. I like the way they had it in French and they had subtitles under it. So when the people in the movie said something, it would show in English. So we could actually know what they were saying. It was really nice and a good way for us to learn French.
Great. So how do you feel about French culture and the language?
Well, I feel that French is a very unique culture and I really like it. And I think we should all learn it because it has a part to play in our native language,
Great.
patois.
Well, you know what? Well said. I don't think I can express that better myself, and she is right from giving her own personal preferences as well as facts. Now we have Miss Lewis. As we can see how well knowledgeable Juanita is and excited about the language and culture. How do you feel about what's taking place today, and you know the fact that Alliance Française is able to help expose the children to a different culture?
Well, I'm happy that the students enjoyed the film and they were able to relate to it very well. I'm also pleased that they're picking up on the French language. They're picking up some phrases, and even the English is there so they can relate very well. I'm enjoying the ambience of everything. Also, I'm hoping that more schools come and they participate, and this will assist the students in picking up the French better, learning it, and they'll be able to communicate with persons on the outside.
Great. Now I know that they also came over to the school and were reading French stories
Yes.
as well to the younger ones. So how was
Yes.
that received?
Oh, the students enjoyed it. Also, they brought in pictures. So while Sabrina read, there were pictures and the students were able to see. So they were able to pick up some words. They were also characters, so they dressed up. And they enjoyed the presentation. They were asking for her to come back.
Nice. Now you see, this is exactly what we want, and I know this is what the initiative is trying to push. So again, remember that International Francophonie Day every year is celebrated on March 20th. So they're doing their part, and it's still a culture that is related to ours. It's close to home. So make an effort. You know, the internet is there. Alliance Française is here. So come out, as you can see for yourself from the teachers, students. They're loving it. So expose yourself to something new. So hey everybody, so this is our Thursday together, and this about winds down this morning for today. Now I know we each enjoyed that, and of course we tried to bring you a variety. So of course we had from nature to science to the love of French culture. What more can you ask for? So we gave you a nice little mix just to kickstart the day, and we want to thank you very much for being locked on and part of our family here at DBS. And I am Chayla Mendez, your host, telling you go out there, be positive, hold firm, because tomorrow is Friday, so we know we're gonna unwind and have an amazing day together. So we'll see you soon.